Okay, so a couple of blocks, a bolster. You can grab a strap. I don't think we aren't gonna need it today for what we plan to do, but if you have anything you want to do with it, of course, you are welcome to do that. All right, you guys, it is slow flow plus yin. And I will tell you the only thing we're going to do with our yin is two hip things. We're going to do what we know as pigeon and lizard and pigeon, actually in that order. So it'll be focused fully on hips. And then at the end of class, then we can set ourselves up for kind of a restorative pose. But I'd like you to start in a place that feels very comfortable. You choose what that is. So if it is seated, feel free to be seated. If it's on your back and using your props, feel free to do that. I know that getting to your mat during the day can be a challenge, and I just appreciate and admire you all for taking the time to be on your mat. So now, whatever position you have chosen, really settle into it. And I think I might start doing this more often, where I'm sharing a quote at the beginning of class, something that can speak to our class. So this is a quote from Seneca. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. This is your time on the mat. I have the great privilege of leading you through a practice, but this is your time. So please don't waste your time today. Let this practice be yours. Really tune in here to the present, into the feeling of your body and how it is positioned. Tight spots, spots that are open and loose, connect with it all. And then, of course, most importantly is the breath. That breath that supports you in a slow, steady way. Now bring some movement back to your body. And we have a big transition, especially if you're on your back. We're going to meet in a child's pose. So take your time to get there. And once you arrive in that child's pose, finding a position that feels really good here. If it's knees wide, feel free to do that. If it's knees underneath the belly, that's another option. Arms could be stretched out in front with palms down. You could also rotate your palms to face up. All right, we have an easy flow that we're going to start with today. It will be a child's pose to a modified plank pose. Let's do it. We've actually done it together before. So from your extended child's pose, you're going to come up into a modified plank pose. There might be need to be a little bit of adjusting there. That modified plank pose, from there we'll lower down to our tummies. And from here on your inhale, find a little mini cobra pose. Tummies, I've never used that in class before. Let's lower down. Not sure about that. Let's press up to a modified plank pose and press back to an extended child's pose. We'll flow one more time like that together. So using our breath, we inhale to our modified plank, exhaling down, inhaling up to your mini cobra, and exhale to lower down. Press up to your modified plank pose, press back to an extended child's pose. All right, a couple more times on your own. Using your breath, flowing through this modified version of the flow that we usually practice, but at a more intense level. And then we'll meet back in our extended child's pose. Good, and we all have met up there, so we are going to continue on here, come right up into an all fours quadruped position, hands lined up underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. We'll do a cylindrical cat and cow. I want you to think of a cylinder, and we're going to try and wipe the inside of the cylinder with our bodies. So you'll go around. So it's like maybe a little bit of a smaller version of that cat pose as you come up, maybe a smaller version of your cow. But then you've got these side movements as well. The next time you come center, we switch directions. Good. And then come center, and from here, walk your hands forward. So you can either stay in all fours, or you could push yourself up and back to find your first down dog of practice. We are going to go right for some hip opening here. Again, you can be on all fours if you choose. Send your right leg in the air, bend the knee, release the bottom part of the leg back. Together, we are going to draw two big circles. We'll draw the knee into the chest first, out and around. Good, two going in this direction. So knee again into the chest first, out and around. Now the knee will come back into the chest and we'll switch directions. We go up, out to the side, back into the chest, and one more time. Up, out to the side, and into the chest. Now straighten that right leg nice and long. Lift the left toe, or lift the heel up off the mat, and gently drop the heel toward the mat. One more time here, lifting the toes up off the mat. Excuse me, don't do the lift toes, lift off the mat. The heel lifts off the mat, and then we drop the right toes to the mat. All right. Left side, inhale it up, bend the knee, release the bottom part of the leg back. And again, we come into the chest first, out and around. One more time here, knee into the chest. You could do this on all fours if you'd like, out and around. Or the next time the knee comes in, we go back up, out to the side, back into the chest. And one more time here, up, out, and into the chest. Now straighten that left leg long. If you're on all fours, you're going to bring that right foot back. And what you're doing is coming up onto your toes, and then you'll press the heel toward the mat. And one more time, up onto the toes, and press the heel back. Good. Let's drop both knees to the mat and press back to an extended child's pose. Walking your hands over to that left side, press a little extra weight into your right hip and find the length through that right side of your body. We'll walk our hands over to the right side, pressing that little extra weight into the left hip and finding length through the left side of your body. Perfect. Come back into center. Let's come to all fours. Curl your toes under. Walk hands and feet together. We'll find our standing forward bend, and we're hanging out here for a few breaths. So find any variation of this standing forward bend that you'd like to practice. It might be varying the arms. It might be adding a prop for support. Check in with your head, your neck. Let your head be heavy. Let your shoulders relax. One more breath. All right, we are going to roll up one vertebra at a time. When you start to do that, really engage through the abdominals as you roll up. If you need support, hands come to thighs. Come all the way up. Good. All right, we are moving to the front end of the mat. We have one round of sun salutation A and one of B, and then we move into our main stuff for today. So feet hip bone width apart. Let's inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, back bend. Now from this back bend, you'll let your arms travel all the way down. Stay open through the chest. Kind of come back up a little bit so that you've got this tall spine, but the arms back, knees soft. Hinge from your hip, lead with your heart to fold into a half lift. Good. And from here, we'll dive all the way forward. Let your arms relax. We'll step back to a plank pose. Good. Corkscrew your hands into your mat. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lower down, inhaling up to a back bend of your choice. We make our way to down dog. Choose your path. You might want to add in a push-up or you roll over the feet, whatever works. Once you arrive in that down dog, press both heels toward the floor, the chest toward your thighs, press away from your hands, lengthen through the back of the body. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, look to the front end of the mat, we travel forward. Inhale, half lift up, pause right here. Feel that hip hinge, the strength through your abdominals to support your back, so strong through the entire core. Stay here, or if you'd like a little bit more, send your arms out in front. So think here of the position that we're in with the warrior three, and again, the strength that's required through your midsection to support your body. We dive ourselves fully forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive, sweep all the way up, stretch up tall. Exhale, back bend. We'll move right into that sun salutation B. So send the arms up, exhale into a chair pose. All right, in your chair pose, just check in. We do have a tendency to stick the bum out, try to tuck it under, find that abdominal engagement. We're gonna do a little hip hinging here. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, hinge from your hip and send your arms toward the wall behind you. Inhale to sweep the arms back up. Exhale to hinge and send the arms back. Beautiful, y'all. One more time. Inhale, come up, and exhale, hinge. Good. This time we'll inhale, stand all the way up, back bend. Inhale, lengthen up, swan dive forward. As you exhale, hinge the body. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, fold, step or hop back, find your plank pose. All right, y'all, you are on your own for this flow. Choose whatever you would like. So maybe you do add in that chaturanga, maybe you don't. Maybe you eliminate that part. But we will meet up in down dog. And from our down dog, once you get there, no rush, inhale your right leg up. Exhale to bring your knee in and step the foot through. We rise up to a warrior one. All right, so in your warrior one, lunging through this front leg, that back foot connected to the mat. All right, so we'll do a little more hip hinging here, but before we do, actually, let's focus on shoulders a little bit this round, or with this. So I'd like you to, so if you could activate that left glute just a little bit more, just notice if anything happens through the hips as you do that. Might square things off a little bit more. All right, with the shoulders, let's bring the arms wide, rotating the palms to face the wall behind you. Bring the arms back. Stay off the back, so you're keeping the hands behind you, but off the back. We come back up to where we started. We do that again. So we're going wide with the arms, rotating palms. Arms come back up. Good, and one more time. Rotate back. Good. Bring the arms up, hands land down around that right foot. Right foot steps back to join the left. Find down dog and let's go right for this other side. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, knee in, step through, rising up to your warrior one. So take just a few seconds here to really tune into this leg position. How deep can you lunge? If it's not feeling good, by the way, at any point through this and you feel like it's just torquing on that back knee, you can always make this a high lunge instead. All right, let's do a little bit of something different for the shoulders. So if you'll bring your arms into 90-degree shapes, we're going to just hold this position, but what I'd like you to think about or actually do is draw the elbows forward just a little bit and the back of the hands back. So maybe you feel something firing up back here, the back side of the body. Breathe one more breath. Notice here, I find myself doing it, so tuck in through the ribs. Keep that strong. Send the arms all the way up. Hands land down around your left foot. Left foot back to join your right for your plank pose and your flow. So you decide what that looks like. Good. And then we meet up in down dog. You're welcome to stay in down dog. If you'd like a couple of breaths in a child's pose, feel free to find that instead. Just take a couple of breaths here to reset. We have our main flow coming up. All right. Look to the front end of the mat. Travel forward when you are ready. Inhale to a half lift. Pause right here. If you'd like to send those arms forward one more time before we actually go into a warrior three, which is coming next, feel free to do that. And then dive yourself fully forward. Reverse swan dive, sweep all the way up, stretch up tall, back bend, open, lengthen, and bring your arms down to your side. All right, so we are going to do a flow that we practiced couple weeks ago, where we use our block throughout the whole flow. But what I want you to think about today is your tongue position. So tongue position is something that actually the proper tongue position can help with postural stability and balance. So we're going to see if that is actually true. Now, so I'm getting that PT on my jaw. I did it one time and she gave me some tips. So this was one of them. So your tongue position, if you can put it to the back of the teeth, but then slide it back. Should be like a little ridge or a spot at the top that's kind of a little more up than where that back of the tongue or back of the teeth is. To kind of slide it back. And it's actually in that position where you would do, like if you were to make that noise, that's where the tongue lives. All right, so try that as we move through this next little bit. Okay, so we are going to grab that block and hold it. And we'll start off with our chair pose. So we incorporate balance into this piece. If at any point you'd like to drop that block, you're welcome. If at any point you'd like just to stay in either a warrior three or a standing splits, you'll know what I mean when we get there, but feel free to do that. We'll start off by bringing all of the weight to the right foot, and you'll begin to bring this left foot up and send it back for a warrior three. So we've added just a teeny bit of load to this warrior three by bringing that block, putting the block in the hand. So again, if you need to drop it, feel free to drop it. All right, now we're going to gently set that block to the floor and find a variation of standing splits. We'll keep the knee and toes of the left foot pointed down, left leg pointed down. All right, strong through your core. We'll lift the block back up and return to our warrior three. Good, we've got a couple more rounds of that. Dropping the block gently, finding your standing splits. Engage through the core, find that tongue position as you lift up. Good, two more here. Putting the block down, lifting the block up. Good, and if you weeble wobble out, no worries, just come right back in. One more time, dropping the block, and lifting it up, finding your warrior three. And then we'll drop into a high lunge. Holy smokes. Whew. Yeah, exactly. All right. That block now, we're actually going to bring it into the chest. And just like we were doing with our hip hinge in our chair pose, we're going to do another hip hinge here. So we're strong and stable through the spine, and you'll just hinge your body forward. On your inhale, bring the body back up. Exhale to hinge. Inhale up. We do one more like that. We flow forward, hinging from the hip. We flow back up. Now here's a change. We will hinge, but then we're going to twist from here. So with this twist, you can keep the block where it is. You could set the block to the floor and inhale that right arm up. You could drop the block completely and find a prayer position and connect elbow to outside of knee. Stay tall, spiral out through that spine. Breathe one more full breath here. Beautiful. Release your block. Hands land down around that right foot, ufta. And we send that right leg all the way up and back for a three-legged dog. You're welcome to roll through that hip. You could drop that left knee to the mat to give yourself a little more support here. You could also find a three-legged flow if you would like. All right, we meet in down dog with both feet to the floor. And we'll move to the front end of the mat. Choose how you get there. Once you arrive there, find your way to standing. You choose how you get there. All right. And let's just take a couple of breaths here before we pick up that block again. So feel free to close your eyes. Just find your mountain pose, shake out whatever you might need to shake out here, and mentally prepare for that other side. So muscle is, if you don't use it, you lose it. And as we get older, we need it. So I know that that's some action required from your leg. Lots of strength required. So hang in, we do this last side and we're done with this part. Okay, grab that block when you're ready. And let's meet in a chair pose with arms extended. Good, and feel free to press onto that block here just a little bit to activate through the front of the body. We'll begin to bring all of the weight to the left foot. The right leg will go back to find our warrior three. Finding that tongue position here. Right toes, right knee facing the floor, and it continues as you gently drop the block to the mat to find your standing splits. You can make the standing split as deep as you'd like, but let's keep the hip closed. All right, when you're ready, lift the block back up, find your warrior three, really engage through the abdominals. Good, we drop the block back down, gently, standing splits. Lift up. Good, we have two more like that. Good, give yourself all the support you need here. You got this. Lift up. And one more time. I know, my leg is screaming too. We're gonna send the arms up. We find our warrior three, and then we'll gently drop into our high lunge, crescent lunge. So find that good stable base here. Bring the block into the body. Again, you have the option here to press into that block to activate through the chest. All right, we've got our hip hinge, hinging the body. It's nice and slow. On the inhale, we come back up. Again, hinge the body. And up. One more time here, hinge. And all the way up. Now this time we'll hinge and we'll twist. So whatever variation of your twist that you'd like to practice, find that here. With those deep breaths. So nice, y'all. Hands land down around that left foot. Left foot swings all the way up and back for a three-legged dog, and then you decide from here what happens next. Could be the same thing you did on that first side, might be something a little different. And then you can choose to stay in down dog or drop the knees. We find child's pose. All right, we're going to find our yin poses, and then we actually will do a little, you know what, let's do this in reverse. We're gonna do a little bit for arm strengthening, and then we'll do our yin stuff, because that'll make us feel really good. All right, so meet me in a plank pose, or a modified plank, dropping the knees to the mat. And we're gonna open up to a side plank. The left arm will go up into the air. So left arm up, right hand stays. Good. Now, the left fingertips behind your head, and we're going to twist toward the floor and back up. Good. Or like this. Twist toward the floor. You can always drop that bottom knee down. Twist toward the floor and up. Yes, yes, Michelle, you got it. Twist and up. Good. All right, send that left arm up into the air. And then let's return to plank or modified plank. Let's go right for the other side. So that left hand stays down, the right arm goes up. Again, that bottom knee can drop to add support. Your right fingertips behind your head. We are going to twist toward the floor and return to center. Twist toward the floor and return to center. Good, two more. Twist and up, beautiful. One more time here, twist and up, send that right arm back up into the air. Just pause for a second here. And then return to plank, and you're welcome to find a flow here if you'd like, or go right to down dog or child's pose. All right, let's take a few seconds in child's pose, dropping those knees to the mat. So like I said, we have two yin poses that we're going to practice. They are going to be 2 minutes each. So 4 minutes on each side to open up through the hip. If at any point you need a break from that, take a break. If you find it becomes too intense, you need to modify, feel free to do so. We're going to start with that right side, and we'll start with a lizard pose. So moving into your lizard in any way that feels right, either from all fours, down dog, or you're stepping your right foot wide to the outside of that right pinky. So right foot goes wide. That block may support you in a way that is helpful, so feel free to grab your block. That back knee could be down to the mat. It could be up. You could drop the forearms to the floor or to your block. Right knee hugged in. Right knee gently dropping out to the side with the ankle staying in line with the rest of the leg. All right, your 2 minutes has started. Find those full diaphragmatic breaths, the breaths traveling all the way down, up and out. Good, you have about 30 more seconds here. All right, now slowly bring yourself up. Two ways that you can make your way into pigeon. One of those is going back to down dog and returning to a pigeon pose from there. You could also bring your fingertips wide and begin to heel toe that right foot over towards your left hand. You might need to slide it back a little bit to find the best alignment. So two ways, again, to approach getting into pigeon. Yes, beautiful. All right, and then once you have found that one-legged pigeon position, you're welcome to fold whenever you're ready, and we hold here for 2 minutes. And we have 1 more minute here. Let those breaths flow all the way down, all the way up and out. All right, we'll make our way into a reset pose. So maybe that's all fours position for you. Maybe it's a down dog. Maybe you roll through that right hip or walk the dog or find any movement or some movement if that's feeling right for you. All right, we have 4 minutes on the left side. So we'll start off with pigeon pose with lizard pose. When you're ready, step the left foot wide. So left foot goes out, and then you're deciding your setup for lizard, knee down, knee up, forearms to the floor, to the block, hands to the floor, to the block. Shoulders relaxed, hands relaxed. All right, we'll make our way to pigeon pose. You choose how you get there. Maybe you approach it the same way as you did the last time when you walk that foot across the mat. Of course, other options available to you too, so deciding. And then folding forward whenever you are ready. 2 minutes. Last 45 seconds here. Shoulders, neck, hands relaxed, muscles of the face are soft. Perfect. Slowly begin to walk yourself up. Sit down onto your left hip and swing your legs around to the front of your mat. And shake your legs out here. Find whatever feels right for you. We're going to make our way onto our backs, and we'll take just about 45 seconds or so in inversions. So you choose what your inversion looks like. If you want to support a bridge pose, you could do that. You could also do a supported waterfall pose. We did do inner thigh opening through our yin poses, but it might feel good to go wide with the legs or do a little more front of the hip opening. So just options, those are options for a supported pose, but find whatever else might work for you. We're going to spend about 30 more seconds here. And now let's slowly begin to come out of our inversions, hugging the knees into the chest. We'll end up twisting by sending the knees over to the left side. So whatever shape you'd like to make for this twist, feel free to find that. So maybe it's knee stacked, or maybe it's a figure four. But again, your knees are going to drop over to that left side. Your arms are wide, maybe turning to look to your right. We slowly bring the knees over to the other side. Maybe turning to look to your left. Bring the legs back to center. All right, this is your time for any last pose you'd like to practice. It's also time to take time here to set yourself up for your final pose. So if you'd like to add props to support you, feel free to find that. All right, and then again, you're choosing your best final pose. If you choose to support yourself with that bolster, really focus in on opening up through the front of the shoulders. Don't waste your time here. Be stingy with this time. It is yours. You find that it's hard to stay focused on one thing, particularly the breath, maybe adding a mantra to your breath would help. A mantra that follows the inhale, maybe with the word let, and then on the exhale, the word go, or maybe just one simple word, peace, calm. Let your next 2 breaths be the biggest, most relaxing breaths of class. Bring some easy movement back to your body. And in your own time, make your way to a seated position. No rush. Let's take one more big deep breath in, sending the arms all the way up on the inhale. As the exhale draws in or draws out, draw your hands to your heart. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste, friends.